Today, I'm going to tell you a story. I know I only shared my name with you as of now, but I will share more about myself later as we get into the presentation. So, this story that I'm going to share with you is quite personal, and it talks about what happens when things don't go as you plan. So, Ginger, if you can go to the next slide. First of all, who am I? So I'm a wife, a friend, a mother, a daughter, a lover of people. I'm a manager. I am incredibly strong. I'm painstakingly soft, ambitious. I'm meek. I'm successful. I love to see growth. I'm faithful, and I'm a planner. But with all of that, next click, Ginger. I was broken. So that's what leads me into my story. So Ginger, go to the next slide, please. So as we go to the next slide, being completely transparent with you, the story that I'm going to tell you today or share with you is not the one that I wanted to share. So last year, I was offered the opportunity to speak with you. Unfortunately, I had a conflict. And so in my regretful decline, I asked, hey, can you keep me in mind for future opportunities? And that's exactly what happened. So thank you for the planning team for reaching out. I immediately said yes, I would love to speak to the group. And so then I got a list of these about 10 different topics that I could share with the team. My issue at that point was narrowing down. There are so many that I thought that I could share with you very eloquently, things that I dealt with over my 19-year career, that I navigated for myself and navigated for others. So it took me about a week to narrow down to 4. And once I shared the 4, I was told that, oh, those are already being talked about. And I was like, huh. What I then thought to myself is, even when I shared the 4, I knew that there was another story that was brewing. However, that story was going to be more difficult for me to tell because it was more personal. It makes me vulnerable. Very story of something that's happening, things that are happening for your grace, reality, as to hopefully help you through sharing my story. So here goes the story. I told you guys I'm a planner, and where I am now is not where I thought I would be. Taking off, I thought it would be in other places. Thought was coming. Not yet, Ginger. Go back. Come. So that was hard for me. On top of that, I told you I was married. I'm married to my husband of over 17 years. While people will tell you that marriage is hard, I don't think we really understand what that feels like when it's hard. And I was going through a time in which we never thought we would be at. And it was difficult and it was painful. And so what I found is that my life is bucketed into 3 buckets. I've got my family, my faith. My faith actually comes first. So let's go with faith, family, and then my career. What I didn't share is that my faith bucket had taken a hit in 2020, and it's still not yet recovered to the way that I would want it to recover. And my therapist told me, she's like, hey, when one area of your life is taking a hit, you normally pull from another bucket, and that's how you're okay. Well, for me, all 3 of my buckets had taken a hit at the same time. And so when all of them are pretty much depleted, I didn't know which way to go. And I literally felt like I was crumbling. So with the career, family, and my faith all broken at the same time, I was lost. And so what I'm going to share with you is how I am navigating the brokenness, the hurt, the loss. And hopefully it'll help you either in a time that you're going, or if you never get to this place, maybe that you can help another woman out who may express the same hurt, lost, all the. So oftentimes as ambitious career women, we have mentors, we have sponsors, and we reach out to them, and they are great to have. We often reach out to our girlfriends, our husbands, or whoever is in our life, and we can share what's going on. The one thing that I will tell you that has helped me tremendously is that I got a therapist. And so culturally, for me growing up, therapy wasn't something that we did. And most times it wasn't even something we had access to. So it definitely wasn't talked about. But I'm going to share with you how I got a therapist. So in one of my previous roles, I had just gotten into this role. I had just gotten promoted, and I was having a conversation with a manager who I highly respect. And I shared with him that, hey, I feel like I'm balancing so many balls and I'm having a hard time prioritizing which one to work on. And he literally told me, then drop one. Okay, so I told you I was successful. So for me, that wasn't an option. And I didn't tell him that, but I said, what? And he's like, yeah, drop a ball. What happens when you drop a ball? And in my mind, I'm like, okay, what is he talking about? And he asked me again, what happens when you drop a ball? And I said, it bounces. And he's like, exactly. When it bounces, pick it up and run with it. That analogy did not work for me because I should have said it's like plates, and when plates drop, they break. And that's how I feel it would have happened for me. But in that moment, because we had a great relationship before he was even my manager, he told me, hey, I think you should call EAP. I think it was kind of sarcastic, but also kind of funny. But we had a good relationship. And I won't turn down support. Immediately called our EAP, which is Employee Assistance Program. And so a nice lady answers the phone and she says, hi, how can I help you? I won't call. Oh, what's happening? So literally I poured out my mind, heart, potentially for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And she shared, I think you can benefit from some additional support. That began my therapy journey. And I will tell you, it gives you tools, and not just your friends or family members or partners who sometimes, as us ambitious women, can feel like we are dumping or complaining to them about things. Have a therapist who is paid to give you tips and tricks on how to move forward. The next thing that I'm doing is recognizing that my pain is purposeful, and that's the process for growth. And so I put this little picture of this acorn and this oak tree. It resembles the fact that that tree is in that acorn, but in order for it to become a tree, it has to be broken. And so that's the true definition of breakthrough. But I think oftentimes when we hit the wall or we hit our point of being broken, but the pain is purposeful, and maybe not always just for the things that I've gone through as such that I can share with you today. So know that the pain is purposeful. Next slide, Ginger. Okay, resilience. So a lot of people use resilience as I am building resilience by just toughing it out. I'm here to tell you, one, resilience is not something that we're born with. It's something that we develop. It's almost like a muscle that we develop. And here's some things that I'm doing in order to ensure that I am developing that muscle. So I'm noticing, naming, and feeling my feelings. That might sound crazy, but oftentimes I would find myself focusing on everyone else but myself, or everything else but myself. But right now, if I'm sad, I want to understand why I'm sad. If I'm mad, I want to understand why I'm mad. If I'm angry, what in the world got me angry? Because I don't get angry too often. But noticing, naming, and feeling it. Like, our feelings are worthy of being felt. I'm also keeping my eyes on my goals. Now, with this one, while my goals may be extremely ambitious, there are times now that I've taken a step back to say, okay, let me think about my goals. Is this really what I want now? I know it's what I wanted at 20, but now I'm over 40. Do I still want that? Not that I no longer have goals. Maybe it's just time for me to reassess. Or if I still want that 20-year-old girl or young lady's goal, then I'm gonna go get that too. I'm also being vulnerable and letting others in. A lot of times we keep all of our stuff to ourselves and we carry all of our baggage, our hurt, our emotions to ourselves. Again, that goes back to getting support. Let somebody in. We don't have to be so tough to where we're carrying all burdens by ourselves. And then, of course, I'm finding ways to recharge. I put a book on here called Untangle Your Emotions. It has been an excellent read for me. I think it would be an excellent read for you as well, especially around the first bullet about noticing, naming, and feeling your feelings. So that's it for that. Go to the next one, Ginger. Okay. This one is big for me. On the journey of trying to achieve these ambitious career goals and trying to fit whatever mold, sometimes narrative, but let me be clear, I'm not trying to change who I am. It's just what is it that this leader is looking for, or what experiences are they looking for? And then often not getting some of the roles that I thought that I would started to have me to think that I didn't fit in or I wasn't enough. That feeling also spilled over into those other buckets. So the bucket of family, I had come up with this image of what a perfect wife, a perfect mom is. And I was trying to obtain something that was, for me and my lifestyle, pretty unattainable. So I must say it was only recently, let me take another step back. When I tell you this has been happening for me over the last year, I am talking about 2024, spring and summertime. We're talking about right now. So this isn't a old story. And again, why it was kind of uncomfortable for me to share, because it's not wrapped up in a bow that I can just give you all of these things that I've done and it's over. It's still happening. And I only say that because just about a week to a week and a half ago, it took my husband telling me, hey, you're enough. If you decide to do nothing else with your career, I am proud of you. And so those words, while simple, spoke to my soul. It was refreshing. And something that I needed in a moment. And again, as a person who is ambitious, normally full of energy, to have such simple words spoken from someone who means the most to me is helping me get through this time. So I'm recognizing that I am enough, and in most cases, more than enough. So, Ginger? All right. So this is encouragement for you for now or for later. If you ever reach a point to where you feel like you don't know which way you're going, or the door continues to get shut, or you're not measuring up in the areas that you thought you were going to measure up, or the plan isn't going the way you thought it would be, get support. Know that the pain is purposeful, but let's be clear, not all pain is good. Don't stay where you don't need to be. Name your feelings, feel them, work through them, focus on your goals, whether they're old, revised, or new. Be vulnerable and transparent and find a way to recharge. And ladies, if you haven't been told in a while, or if you've not been told ever, please recognize we do a lot and you are enough. You are more than enough, and every enough. So, Ginger, if you'll go to the next slide, that's all I have to share with you today, but I know I still didn't introduce myself, and that was purposeful. I wanted you to hear the story before you really know more about me. This isn't showing up exactly right just because it's in Google Slides. I'm not sure if it'll come later. But again, my name is Nneka Robinson. I'm an engineering director at Proctor and Gamble. I've been here for 19 years. I've done manufacturing and engineering. I have installed over $100 million in capital. You can see the rest. I won't go through the rest. I sit here in Cincinnati. And then that's my family down there to the bottom right hand side. And we already talked about my values. So yeah, that's all I have. Ginger?
Well, thank you so much for your fantastic presentation and for sharing your story.